My name is Sarah Bryant.
And what do you do, Sarah?
I guess if you want to say the big thing I did maybe was help get started with Planned Parenthood. Well, actually, I'd been doing work with the Quittenton Home. Quittenton Home is home for unwed mothers. And I'd been doing that for many years, and there was a man who was a banker here in Charlotte, and another man who was head of the Department of Social Services, who said, "Why don't you get Planned Parenthood started here?" And I said, "Oh, what are you talking about?" And they said, "Well, you need to work on that because you know so much about this thing." Happened to have a red telephone in my house. So I set up a telephone number for Planned Parenthood, and then 2 times people found their way to my house when there was only a telephone number. And then there were 3 girls that came from Nashville, and one of them was pregnant. And she wanted to know if she could get an abortion. We didn't have anything in North Carolina that was, helping people like that. So I went to New York, and I looked at Planned Parenthood, and I saw, well, nothing was in North Carolina. So I said, we look like the third world. So they said, if you raise $10,000, you can open a Planned Parenthood clinic in Charlotte. We opened the clinic in '72. We've been working for about 2 years to get it going, and that's when we had people come in to protest, and they would just really, really protest it. But there were other people who supported us. A nun, a Catholic nun, set up our counseling services. And she was teaching counseling at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. And she would send her students to do their internship at Planned Parenthood, and she would come there and help in her full habit at that time.
Why is that a big deal?
That was a big deal. That was what people could not understand all over the country. When I was on the national board and I would speak at some places like St. Louis or Detroit where there were a lot of Catholic people, they would say, "And a Catholic nun worked with you?" And I said, "Yes, she did." She was a real close friend of mine. Oh, they would stand out on the street with their signs and try to tell people not to come in, and that, you're going to kill your baby, and there were just all kinds of things like that. But they didn't know that we really had people who counseled the young women, and they would be told that they had choices. I never, ever talked to a young woman who was, even if she had made a total decision, who had an easy time deciding to get an abortion. I thought it was a good thing to do. I really thought it was a needed thing. And my husband supported me. Well, when you go with Sarah to one of these meetings, what do you do? And he said, "Oh, well," he had a wonderful sense of humor. He said, "Well, I go shopping with the girls." We sort of swap roles. It was the first in the state of North Carolina. And then now we are to West Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, all together in one group right now.
And that's the group.
Mm-hmm.
You started?
I started it. It feels good. It also feels good to know that I had so many good friends who helped me. As I say, it takes more than just one person. I think it's important for women to have a choice because I think it's their right. Their right. It's a civil right. It's a human right. It's a human right. It ought to be your own choice. Nobody should make that choice for you. As a matter of fact, I had the privilege of finding that out. The doctor told me I should not have another baby. He said, well, if you are pregnant, of course, you know we can terminate it. You can have an abortion. Well, during that time that I was up there in the mountains and with those young women and thinking about what would I do if I'm pregnant? Will I terminate it or would I keep it? And for me, I made the decision that if I were pregnant, I would not have an abortion. I would take the chance that I might, maybe or may not make it. But it also cemented my belief that a woman had the right to make that choice, whichever way she wanted to go. It cemented my belief in the privilege of a woman to choose.
Why did it cement?
Because I had the privilege of making the decision myself, and for me, I thought for me I would not do it, but I had no right to tell another woman, or for anybody to tell another woman what she should do. I guess I think that whatever I had done must have been all right, because I'm still having a good life, and I've been very fortunate to have a good life. It's something I had to do, and I knew I did, and it's worth it. I can tell you that. Some friends didn't support me. There were other people who didn't, and I knew that, so I had to accept it and go on with whatever I believed. Say, go get it. Go do it. Go for it. I kept right on. I never thought it was too much. I thought it was the thing to do. I think what you're doing in making a documentary about these tough things that people go through, I am proud to know that I've been a part of that.